Hello, dear friends. In my videos, I have already told you why it is useful to get therapy from a psychosomatologist or a clinical psychologist for people who have experienced or are experiencing an emotionally difficult traumatic situation or conflict. By conflict is meant not only external, that is, conflict with someone, but also internal, when we cannot accept or come to terms with the situation inside ourselves. By conflict traumatic situations, we mean, for example, divorce proceedings or the loss of a loved one, for example, husband, wife, or child. The list of severe traumatic situations also includes emotionally acute conflicts at work or in the family between relatives and close people. All of us have experienced some of this in one way or another. The problem is that so many people who have gone through a divorce or the loss of a loved one think that everything will work itself out and there will be no health consequences. Such an attitude has arisen due to a lack of understanding of psychosomatics or the mechanism of the destructive influence of the conflict situation on the body. The fact is that many processes in the body are regulated by subconsciousness, including the body's reactions to information or stimuli that come through the senses. First of all, the eyes and ears. And our subconscious mind is the first to respond. It reacts as an emergency service in society to protect our psyche from emotionally and unbearable head of conflict. Subconsciousness virtually translates this head into physiological reactions. The conflicting person's blood pressure rises, blood vessels delayed or constrict, metabolic processes are disturbed, there is a failure in the work of the systems, organs and tissues in the organs of our body, and all this is accompanied by high temperature and discomfort, for example, uncontrollable nausea, urination, or defecation, and inflammatory processes. In other words, we become physically ill. Any traumatic conflict situation has 5 signs. It is unexpected, like we are attacked, or the situation develops like an explosion. It experienced dramatically, sharp emotionally. It is experienced in isolation, that means in proud solitude. We carry it inside us for a long time and lose peace and stability, appetite and sleep. It affects our life principles and values. We are humiliated or insulted, and we have no experience of such a situation. It occurs to us for the first time. My dear friends, my dear women and men, think back over all of your conflicts in life. Conflicts with your bosses or co-workers, divorces, loss of loved ones. Think back and tell me honestly, were there these 5 traumatic signs? The honest answer is yes. The conflicts we experience have another, very insidious effect on our health, especially for the female, the maternal body. May my colleagues forgive me for my crude analogies. In the brain of a survivor of a traumatic conflict situation, there remains a kind of wheelchair imprint, a neural memory of the emotional background of the conflict and the entire range of physiological reactions of his body, organs and tissues. And this neural memory is passed on to the children. It is like a bomb. It slumbers in your child until a certain time. It doesn't matter at what age it goes off. It's bound to go off as soon as a child gets into a conflict situation similar to the one that, for example, his mother experienced during pregnancy or the first year of his life. Your child, even as an adult, will experience all the negative physiological conditions that his mother experienced during that conflict, or will fall ill with the same disease that the mother experienced. The slightest reminder of that conflict, some background smells, music, color sensations, what psychologists call a track, will instantly trigger a negative physiological reaction of the body, yours or your children's. The only way to avoid or neutralize the psychosomatic consequences of the traumatic conflict events of the past and, more importantly, to protect your children from the negative reminders from the past, is to undergo therapy either by a clinical psychologist or a psychosomatologist. There is no third way.